In just the last 3 years, the world's richest man added $200 billion to his fortune. That's more money than the entire GDP of 144 countries combined. Even more shocking? The top 3 billionaires now control nearly $900 billion in wealth. But their wealth keeps growing at an unprecedented rate, faster than at any point in human history. Today, we will talk about a question that sounds like science fiction, but is becoming more realistic by the day. Could the top 3 billionaires actually buy the world? The answer might surprise you. Breaking down the billionaire fortune. Let's start by putting these astronomical numbers into perspective. Elon Musk, currently the world's richest person, sits on a fortune of $432 billion. That's not just a number. It's equivalent to the entire economic output of Norway and Denmark combined. But what's truly fascinating isn't just the size of his wealth. It's how it's structured. Unlike the billionaires of the past who built their fortunes on tangible assets like oil, real estate, or factories, Musk's wealth is tied to the future of technology. From Tesla's electric vehicles to SpaceX's interplanetary ambitions, his fortune is quite literally betting on humanity's tomorrow. Jeff Bezos, with his $239 billion net worth, represents a different kind of power. Through Amazon, he controls not just the world's largest e-commerce platform, but also the invisible backbone of the internet through Amazon Web Services. Think about this. Every time you stream a movie, check your favorite website, or use a smart home device, there's a good chance you're putting money in Bezos' pocket. His wealth isn't just massive, it's woven into the fabric of our daily digital lives. And then there's Mark Zuckerberg, whose $207 billion fortune comes from controlling how billions of people connect, communicate, and consume information. Through Meta's platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, he influences the social interactions of nearly half the world's population. That's a kind of power that even the richest emperors of history couldn't have imagined. Together, these 3 men control approximately $878 billion. But what does that actually mean in terms of real-world purchasing power? Let's put this into perspective with some mind-bending comparisons. They could buy every single professional sports team in the world: NFL, NBA, Premier League, Formula One, you name it, and still have enough left over to end world hunger for a decade. They could purchase all the residential real estate in New York City, or fund NASA's entire budget for the next 8 years. But here's what's truly staggering. Their combined wealth is growing faster than they could reasonably spend it. The acceleration of wealth. What we're witnessing isn't just wealth accumulation, it's wealth acceleration. In the past 3 years alone, these billionaires have seen their fortunes grow at a pace that defies historical precedent. During the global pandemic, while the average person struggled with economic uncertainty, the top billionaires didn't just maintain their wealth, they multiplied it. Take Musk, for example. His net worth increased by more than $432 billion in just a few years. That's more money made faster than anyone in recorded history. But how is this possible? The answer lies in a perfect storm of technological advancement, market dynamics, and what economists call the network effect, where their existing wealth and influence create conditions that generate even more wealth. What makes this concentration of wealth different from anything we've seen before is the nature of the companies these billionaires control. Tesla, Amazon, and Meta aren't just successful businesses. They're platform monopolies that create their own ecosystems. Each time you order something on Amazon, post on Facebook, or buy a Tesla, you're not just making a purchase. You're strengthening their control over entire sectors of the global economy. The hidden power of modern wealth. Unlike traditional wealth, which was largely tied to physical assets, modern billionaire wealth comes with a unique kind of leverage. When Musk tweets, markets move. When Zuckerberg changes Facebook's algorithm, it affects how billions of people receive information. When Bezos enters a new market, entire industries transform overnight. This is the power to shape society itself. Think about this. If you combine the influence of the richest historical figures like John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, and J.P. Morgan at their peaks, adjusted for inflation, they still wouldn't match the power these three men wield today. But could they actually buy the world? Let's break this down realistically. The stock market reality. If any of these billionaires tried to sell even a significant portion of their holdings at once, the market would react dramatically. Stock prices would plummet, potentially triggering a market-wide panic. This is what economists call the billionaire's dilemma. Their wealth is so massive that they can't fully access it without destroying a significant portion of its value. Let me give you a concrete example. When Zuckerberg lost $30 billion in a single day due to Meta's stock price drop, it didn't mean he had lost actual cash. It was paper wealth that disappeared as quickly as it had appeared. This highlights the somewhat illusory nature of billionaire wealth. Here's another fascinating aspect that most people don't consider. The global economy is far more complex than just adding up assets and putting price tags on them. The world's total wealth isn't just about money, it's about interconnected systems of production, trade relationships, and human capital. The global GDP is around $100 trillion. But that doesn't mean someone with $100 trillion could buy everything. Real power versus theoretical wealth. What's more interesting than whether they could buy the world is how they're already shaping it. Through their companies and investments, these three billionaires are fundamentally altering every aspect of modern life. They're revolutionizing how we communicate and maintain relationships, with Meta's platforms becoming the primary way billions of people connect with family and friends. They're transforming the future of transportation and energy through Tesla's electric vehicles and sustainable energy solutions. Their ambitions extend beyond Earth itself, with SpaceX and Blue Origin leading humanity's interplanetary ambitions and reshaping our vision of space exploration. They've completely revolutionized the nature of commerce, with Amazon fundamentally changing how we buy and receive goods. Perhaps most significantly, they're at the forefront of developing artificial intelligence, a technology that promises to reshape human civilization in ways we're only beginning to understand. The acceleration paradox. Their wealth isn't just growing, it's accelerating. In the time it took you to watch this video so far, these three billionaires collectively earned more money than the average person makes in a lifetime. This acceleration is powered by what I call the technology feedback loop, where their existing market dominance allows them to invest in new technologies, which in turn strengthens their market position even further. What we're witnessing isn't just about wealth, it's about the future of human society itself. Let me explain why this matters more than you might think. These billionaires aren't just accumulating money, they're accumulating the power to shape humanity's trajectory. Through their companies and investments, they're making decisions that will affect generations to come. Take Musk's Neuralink and SpaceX ventures. These are attempts to fundamentally alter human capabilities and expand our species beyond Earth. Or consider Meta's massive investment in the metaverse. Zuckerberg isn't just building a new platform, he's betting on and potentially shaping how humans will interact in the future. Meanwhile, Bezos's Blue Origin isn't just about space tourism. It's about establishing new frontiers for human civilization. The societal impact. However, this unprecedented concentration of wealth and power raises critical questions about democracy and social equality. When three individuals have more economic power than most nations, how does this affect global decision-making? The reality is that these billionaires can influence policy, shape public opinion, and drive technological development in ways that elected officials often cannot. Consider this startling fact. The annual investment returns on their wealth alone exceed the entire GDP of dozens of countries. This means that without lifting a finger, they gain more wealth each year than entire nations produce. This creates what economists call a power multiplier effect, where their influence grows exponentially, not linearly. In a democratic society, we operate on the principle of checks and balances. But what happens when private individuals amass more power than most governmental institutions? This isn't just a theoretical question anymore. Through their control of crucial technologies and platforms, these billionaires have become de facto policymakers in areas ranging from privacy rights to free speech. Take content moderation on social media platforms, for instance. The decisions made in Meta's boardroom about what content to allow or restrict have a more immediate impact on public discourse than many government regulations. Or consider how Amazon's decisions about which products to promote can make or break entire industries overnight. A new economic order. We're entering into the age of tech oligarchy, where a handful of technology-enabled billionaires have unprecedented influence over the direction of human civilization. These billionaires aren't just wealthy individuals. They're more like private governments operating beyond traditional national boundaries. Their companies aren't just businesses. They're governance systems managing crucial parts of our social and economic infrastructure. So, could the top 3 billionaires buy the world? The literal answer is no. The world's assets and infrastructure are worth far more than their combined wealth. But in many ways, they don't need to buy it. Through their technological platforms, market dominance, and accelerating wealth accumulation, they're already shaping the world in profound ways. The coming crossroads. What we're witnessing is perhaps the most significant transformation of economic power in human history. The gap between these tech billionaires and the rest of humanity isn't just growing, it's accelerating at a pace that defies historical precedent. In 2024 alone, while many struggled with inflation and economic uncertainty, the top 3 billionaires added hundreds of billions to their net worth. But for the first time, we have individuals who possess both the financial resources and the technological capabilities to reshape fundamental aspects of human society. Whether it's Musk's ambition to make humans a multiplanetary species, Zuckerberg's vision of a digital metaverse, or Bezos' plan to move heavy industry into space, these aren't just business plans. They're blueprints for humanity's future. What makes their influence particularly potent is the nature of their wealth. Unlike traditional billionaires who might own oil fields or real estate, these tech titans control platform monopolies, digital infrastructures that become more valuable and entrenched with each passing day. Every time you log into Facebook, order from Amazon, or use a Tesla-inspired electric vehicle, you're not just using a service, you're strengthening their grip on the future. Think about this. Amazon doesn't just dominate e-commerce, it controls much of the cloud infrastructure that powers the internet. Meta doesn't just own social media platforms, it's building the virtual worlds where we might spend much of our future time. Tesla isn't just selling cars, it's reshaping our entire energy and transportation infrastructure. The choice ahead. So, where does this leave us? As we stand at this crucial juncture in history, we face some important questions. How do we ensure that the unprecedented concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few doesn't undermine democratic principles? How do we harness the innovative potential of these tech billionaires while protecting the public interest? Here's what you need to understand. While these billionaires can't literally buy the world, they're already shaping its future in ways that will affect generations to come. Their decisions today about artificial intelligence, space exploration, social media, and e-commerce will echo through decades, if not centuries. You might be thinking, this is interesting, but how does it affect me? The answer is in almost every way imaginable. From the information you consume to the products you buy, from the way you communicate to how you'll work in the future. These 3 individuals influence virtually every aspect of modern life. And their influence is only growing. Do you think it's leading us toward innovation and progress? Or are you concerned about the implications for democracy and equality? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.